Okay, what we're going to do with this, we have bone marrow, and we can take a chopstick and we can push it through, or take your finger if it's big enough. That's the big end, so we want to push it from the small end through the big end. Take the bone marrow out. That bone marrow is full of excellent stem cells that help regenerate and have growth hormones in them. True human growth hormone once the body converts those stem cells. And then we will cut the lamb very thinly, slices. Again, you always saw, you don't pull, saw. If it gets down to the bottom and you have to pull a little bit, that's fine, but you don't want to pull right away. You want to cut, slice. If you push and pull, you dull your knives. And you see there's gristle wrapped around shanks all the time. If you slice into it and then pull at the bottom, you leave that gristle on the bone. Again, you slice it, and you get to the bottom, you tear it off, or just kind of like that, slice it off easily. Turn it upside down, do it again here, and again you're sawing, and you see how that remains. The gristle remains. Okay, give that to your dog if you have one, or a cat. They will love it. Okay, now let's prepare our plate. Let's use a little basil leaves, some basil leaves, to decorate the bottom. Doing a little petal flower arrangement. Then we put the meat on top. Now what you can do is, these are very soft and very oily when it's room temperature, and I like all my meat to be room temperature because it's much more flavorful. So the bone marrow is like butter when it's warm, and when it's cold it's like butter too, it hardens. So if we slice it very thinly, that's part of the fat for the meal. And again, like I said, it helps growth hormones, keeps you young, gets cells producing in your body quicker. And then what we're going to do is make a sauce to go with this. It will be kind of a mayonnaise sauce because we're going to use an egg in it. And then we will want to thicken it with cheese. So we have some butter in there. I melted the butter so it's easier to blend, but you do not have to melt it. You just put the egg in last, but we won't put the egg in last because the butter is melted. Now we can cut the cheese. Again, this helps thicken it. With the egg in there and the melted butter, it's going to be thin. So we use, as I talked about, thickeners. The thickeners are cheeses, nuts in sauces, in pies and cakes. Nuts you can make into a flour, and I will show you that later. Now, just to give this a little bit of a better flavor, I'm going to use a little bit of hot pepper here. Depending upon how hot you like it. I don't like it too hot, so that's going to be plenty for me. Now if you put the seeds in, it's going to be even hotter. So it's better not to have it too hot unless you can handle it. and unless you like it. Let's throw just a little bit of onion, just to give a slight onion flavor to it. And again, knock it down into the blades. And then we'll put this on a medium. Now, I let it blend about 15 seconds that time because I wanted the cheese to thicken the sauce. You see, it's like a mayonnaise, a little thicker. Now, if I weren't on camera, I'd be licking this, but these are very sharp. You don't want to stab your mouth when you do it, or your tongue. And then you just pour this on top. And there you go. Some people, if you go into a restaurant, will put the sauce on the side rather than on the top. I like it on top. Then we can take some more of the pepper, but this is sweet pepper, and just put that on top. And there you have another wonderful meal. This is lamb with bone marrow from the lamb shank. Pretty special.